Screw it. I'm recording this all as one video. I'm gonna keep listening to this album. It's great.
Can you hear the voices laughing from the empty field? There's a pain inside that I used to hide. Home of again rings, juggle fire between dreams and realities. Oh, who's lost
in the midst of your smile, you hide and seek.
There's no redemption I shall seek. No pain, just
Probably solved them incidents once.
no tears to
School, someone in the newspaper, you've likely drawn that magical path from the start to the finish. But chances are, school didn't show you how mazes are actually made. And that's a shame, because there's so much cool math that goes into it. So let's explore that math and
Isn't it
figure out
just
how
a
to
random number generator?
Yes. And at the end of the video, I'll show you one of the most beautiful maze algorithms that I bet you've ever seen. In order to create a maze, it'll probably help if we have a good definition. The Google definition is pretty broad. It just says a network of paths. So I guess technically almost anything could be a maze. Any shape, size, or dimension. But that's a headache, so let's make a new definition. Typically, a maze has a big square, or a border, with horizontal and vertical lines on the inside. Let's make that the first thing in our definition. Usually there's also a start and a finish, but I'll come back to that idea later. Getting more specific though, where are these lines allowed to be? Can they just be anywhere? Well, if you take a typical maze and continue the lines out, you'll get a grid of square cells. This means that every possible line must be somewhere on this grid. So let's add that to the definition as well. Okay, so a maze is just a grid of square cells with some parts that got removed. But this still isn't very specific. Which parts should be removed?
I don't like
the thing
this
that makes
outro.
a maze is that it has pathways. So
It feels
naturally,
anticlimactic
let's
compared to the
remove
short
parts
version.
that those pathways. One way to do
It
this
should have
is
just
to start
ended
in a cell, draw a pathway to another
in the
cell, and
instrumental,
remove
since
any
that's
segments
basically
that
the
got
best part of
away.
the entire
Using this
entire
strategy,
song.
you can make pretty much any maze you want. Just trace out the
It ends
pathways
in a
and
whimper
remove
this
any
time,
segments that intersect.
rather than on a high note.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. A maze is a grid of cells and a set of pathways that remove segments. And the beautiful thing is, this definition works no matter how much or how little you remove. Even if you draw nothing and you leave it as a grid, then
Yikes,
technically
that's a
every
thing.
cell is its own pathway, each represented by a single point. So I guess connecting cells isn't really drawing a pathway, rather it's merging pathways together to form a bigger one. Now obviously, a grid of single point pathways isn't a very exciting maze, but according to our definition, it's still a maze. It's a grid and a set of pathways. Okay, now we have a definition, but clearly not every maze is created equal. Under this definition, this is a maze, but so is this, and so is this. In some applications, that's fine, but remember, we want to figure out how to generate a good maze. So we need to define what good actually means. Take a look at these two mazes. Why is this one more fun? It has more connections, right? In fact, you can get from any point to any other point because there's just one big pathway. But if more connections means more fun, then why isn't this fun? The pathway in this maze has as many connections as possible. Okay, so a fun maze must be somewhere.
I couldn't tell you anything,
You don't want to have zero
couldn't open
options,
my mind.
but you also don't
I
want to have
closed
too
up
many.
and shut down.
So
I
the
wanna
options
tell you
are infinite.
everything.
Like
When I
you did
open
just
my
make.
mind,
If you test it out, you'll probably find that there's always
where
one
did
option
you
to get from any point to any other. Not
go?
zero options, not two options, always one. That's the magic rule that makes it fun. And the more you play around with this rule, the more it makes sense. For example, having a loop in a maze is not very fun. At least if you're solving it in a video game, because you might run around in circles. Sure enough, loops break this rule. They give you multiple ways to get from A to B. Another thing that's not super fun is when there's an isolated area, because it's impossible to get to. Unsurprisingly, this also breaks the rule. Point A in one area can never get to point B in the other. Also, this rule makes the start and finish of a maze kind of arbitrary. No matter where you place them, you're guaranteed to have one path from the start to the finish. Let's go ahead and call a maze with this property a perfect maze. And no, I'm not just describing it with an adjective, that's actually what it's called. Alright, let's summarize. A grid of cells with a set of pathways is a maze, and if there's only one way to get from any cell to any other cell, it's also a perfect maze. Now let's take a step back and think about what this means for generation. The question of how to generate a good maze has now become how to generate a perfect maze, where generating a perfect maze means connecting all the dots such that there's only one path from any dot to any other dot. And the generation really is just about those dots. You don't even have to think about the walls anymore if you don't want to. I mean, if you have a set of pathways, there's only one possible way to draw the walls around them. In other words, dots and connections and walls are two equivalent definitions of a maze. If you have dots and connections, you can get the walls back. If you have walls, you can get the dots and connections back. Okay, now here's where the math really kicks in. In mathematics, whenever you've reduced a problem down to just dots and connections, you're going to have a lot of mathematicians yell at you to use graph theory. Graph theory is a sector of math that focuses on graphs, where a graph is just a set of vertices and edges, dots and connections. So this is a graph, and so is this, and so is this. Any set of vertices and edges is a graph. And if a graph has only one path from any vertex to any other vertex, then it's a special type of graph called a tree. This is where the power of graph theory can become a huge help. Any algorithm that someone has ever made to generate a tree can now be applied to perfect mazes. Well, okay, that's a bit of a lie. You can't use any tree. The edges have to be between adjacent vertices. But if you make a tree with that property, then congrats, you've made a perfect maze. If you look online, there are plenty of well-known algorithms to make these kinds of trees, but instead of looking at those, let's think about how you might have come up with them yourself. The first thing you might try is to start at a vertex and just randomly travel to adjacent neighbors, drawing edges as you go. This works pretty well at the start, but sooner or later, you might accidentally visit a vertex for the second time, which creates a loop. No problem though, let's just say that you can't pick a neighbor if you've already been there before, and continue running. Shoot, now it's stuck. All the neighbors are visited, but it hasn't covered the whole maze. So, what do you do from here? Well, maybe by looking at why it got stuck more closely, it'll help brainstorm an idea. It got stuck because here, there were two options, and it chose this one, which led to 0 options. If it had chosen the right arrow instead, it would have been fine. But the thing is, that choice is still available. So how about we just go back in time? Let's retrace the steps until we're on that cell, and then have it choose the option it missed. Now it can keep going. Okay, it got stuck again, but no worries. Let's retrace the steps until we find another missed option. And it works. By revisiting the past, it eventually explores every possible option, visiting every vertex. This algorithm is called depth-first search. It's called that because it searches as deep as it can first before going backwards.
There's still a few
But
colors
of course,
left in
this is
the
not
end,
the
huh?
only way to generate a maze. Going backwards is cool, but is that really the only way to stop being stuck? What if instead you just search the entire maze manually to find an option? As soon as you find a visited cell that isn't already stuck, you can just continue from there. If it gets stuck again, search again. this also works. Eventually, you'll visit every vertex. This is called the hunt and kill method. The advantage of hunt and kill is that you don't have to remember the path since there's no going backwards. But the disadvantage is that the repeated searching can take a lot of time, especially on big mazes. Alright, so those are just two of the many perfect maze generation algorithms. If you want to learn about more of them, there is a ton of information online, and I put some of my favorite links in the description. There are a million of these algorithms, and each one has its own unique pros and cons. But now, let's move on to what I mentioned way earlier in the video, a maze algorithm that I'm willing to bet you've never heard of. If it wasn't obvious from my profile picture, I usually post Minecraft videos. In fact, the whole reason I chose this topic was because I started making a maze generator in Minecraft. And as I was researching for that, I came across this video from another Minecraft YouTuber, Captain Luma, who made an ever-changing maze. It's a perfect maze that randomly closes and opens walls, yet remains a perfect maze at all times. So then I was like, oh cool, I wonder what algorithm it uses. Turns out, he literally invented the algorithm behind it, and even gave it a special name, Origin Shift. It's really cool, and I haven't been able to find anything else like it online. So let me show you how Origin Shift works. So far in this video, I've been representing perfect mazes as undirected trees, meaning that the edges don't have a direction to them. But you can also make a directed tree, where every edge points to a vertex.
Oh no, not these algorithms
You
again.
might imagine starting at a vertex and following the arrows like the road markings. And in some cases, following the arrows will always take you to the same vertex. When a directed tree has this property, it's called a root-directed tree, where that vertex is the root. Someone noticed that any directed tree can be converted to a root-directed tree by just picking a vertex to be the root and pointing all the edges towards it. Notice that when you do this, every vertex has exactly one outbound edge, except for the root, which has none. And since you can basically pick this root at random, Luma thought, what if I move the root around? So the algorithm uses 3 steps to do this. First, point the root in a random direction. Then, follow that direction and make that vertex the new root. And finally, remove
This'll
the
be
new
really
root's
useful.
outbound edge. This moves the root to a new location, and it's guaranteed
In case I sound
still
sarcastic,
a
I'm
directed
not.
tree, which means it's still a perfect maze. And yeah, that's all there is to it. The more you repeat this, the more the maze changes. If you run it for a really long time, you'll end up with something completely different than what you started with. One important note is that it doesn't necessarily change the maze on every iteration. For example, if the root moves from here to here, then only the edge's directions change, so the maze is the same. Whereas if it moves from here to here, there's a new edge and a change to the maze. Regardless though, this algorithm is beautiful. If there are any game developers out there who want an ever-changing maze, I think this is a really good option. And it gets even better, because you can also use this to generate a maze from scratch. All you have to do is start with a super simple perfect maze, like this, and just let it run. Eventually, it'll create a random-looking perfect maze, just like any of the other algorithms. Coming up with an algorithm from scratch is not something that happens overnight. It takes consistent effort, learning and getting hands-on for at least a little bit every day. That's why I like using the sponsor of this video, Brilliant. Brilliant is where you learn by doing.
What am I waiting for? Like a bubble, this feeling will be gone. We're alone.
Innovation is the thing that drives so many fields. But is there such a thing as arriving to a party too early? Well, before they invite you to the party, that's a bad time. Sometimes games manage to a field that becomes the lay of the land. Sometime in the future, for the time that they were created in, look at a game like Earthbound. At the time, not many paid it much mind. It might have had something to do with Nintendo telling everybody it stunk. Nowadays, its influence over the indie game scene is undeniable. Nier, Grim Fandango, every single game Clover Studios ever made, the public might not have realized it, but the industry was changing without them even noticing. The same is true in the trading card game space, as before Master Duel, Magic the Gathering Arena, or Pokemon TCG Live, there was chaotic.
thought I was gonna talk about Yu-Gi-Oh!
Case of Chaos in Denmark in the year 1999.
What the fuck is a chaotic?
Connection being Jacob and Henrik Andersen. They started Draco Company in 1997, a Danish toy company that made toys mostly for their region. And they looked a hell of a lot like toys from other regions, but who's asking? Any release of theirs that did come stateside would be handled by a different company, like Tom's Collectibles in the case of Toons, and their most famous toy, Draco Heads. These were weird-looking collectible little figures that you could collect, trade, or even play little games with, like marbles, bowling, or guessing games. Somehow, the brothers figured they had left space unexplored in Draco Head's realm and decided to make an expansion. This added that sweet toys, as they were now two foreign factions of intergalactic space aliens. Molly and the
Fluttering, Meadows of Dreams.
So they could use it to power their stations and return home. Needed this much lore to throw a piece of plastic at a wall? That storyline clearly struck a chord as the series continued getting more and more popular than the last iteration. And promotions with ice cream companies, and a CD of songs explaining the lore, including one that says X and Eventually, the toy line would get rebranded to make it seem like any thought went into the name at all. Draco Heads 2, 2 Rolls, and this rebranding change brought a new set of trading cards that gave each of the monsters stats: wisdom, power, courage, and speed, on top of a health stat and magic rating. As for the game
Well-sided, guys.
Rolls and Gorks cards, nobody's really sure anymore. Grolls and Gorks and Draco Heads in general were always treated as game pieces rather than pieces of a unified game. You could play whatever you wanted with them, and when it came to the actual unified Grolls and Gorks game, the rules have just been lost to time. What wasn't lost, though, was the idea. As a year later, in 2001, the game would be rebranded a second time to Chaotic, Now or Never. It should be noted by this point, though, the license was out of Draco Company's hands and into Apex Marketing, a company run by Brian Gann, who bought the rights to the game and was looking for a way to sell it in America. The early 2000s was right in the boom of collectible
No, it should be good. I don't remember what
thanks to Pokemon
this
and
domain.
Yu-Gi-Oh! So Brian rightly understood that this was a hot market. It came out, stand up. Well, even back during the days of Now or Never, that would carry over under franchise. Each card alongside wisdom, power, speed, magic rating, somehow would put up a motto that responded to your specific card. Enter the code on the website and that card, its randomized stats, would be added to your online collection. Stats themselves are two same base stat total, but if then get two kids with the same card would have different versions. Those chaotic Now or Never cards as well started a whole new story. That idea of versus Underworld from first days. While adding the new all-lizard tribes of the Reptilians and the all-ant tribe of Danians. Underworlders would be led by Kaor, a character dating all the way back to the first wave of Draco Head, Diablo, while the Overworlders were led by Mac. The game itself would be modified after finding its new American distributors, 4Kids Entertainment, a company responsible for the localization of both Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! 4Kids had to watch as the series they had helped to introduce to America rocketed to the top of the industry. They still had to make do dubbing this crappy show called Footloose. That's why they were looking to invest in a property they could exercise total control over. Through their gaming division, TC Digital Games, 4Kids would work with Apex Marketing and Brian Gann to bring Chaotic to America in 2006. But instead would get animated series first to get the concept. The plot changed from Tom and Cats, 12-year-old bully getting transported to the land of Terra by magical fables, I don't know if Kaz was a cyborg being sent to the magical world, but whatever. Too chaotic for you, but it was in the real world. Card game with an online component, but instead of just logging in, you'd get transported to a whole new virtual world. And there you can transport yourself to Pharaoh to scan creatures, locations, and weaponry to use as cards in the card game. Weaponry from the original game, like fucking swapped out for more fantastical battle. And what from spell cards in Now or Never is magical songs called Legend. Yu-Gi-Oh! Had to change magic cards to spell cards, then Chaotic had to change spell cards to music cards. Extra these cards and music is another time. On top of those changes, the lore was changed one last time as Madcap was heavily medicated into Maxim, and from there, the story was set. Overworlders versus Underworlders, Danians and Palladians, trying to just hate everyone, and the battle for Pharaoh began. And once the card game would come out a year later in 2007, the world would open up even more. The lasting legacy of Chaotic was secured in part due to their dedication to the story. Sam Murakami and for Kids, Martin Rowell, original designer of Now or Never, and Brian Gannon. Brian Gannon crafted a world with so much detail told about the show with the cards, that rather just one character's backstory would take him across the entire world, and, more importantly, it's more card sets. Learning the background for, let's say this ant, look at how much is written, how many different events he took part in. Multiple characters across each of the different factions had these sorts of storylines. This was just one of many. This would be best shown off in Age expansions, where reprints of character cards would be used as a chance to advance plotlines and the few trailed out during the game's initial wave, but it wasn't until the second doors, then the storyline to Overdrive, Billion Eldritch monsters unleashed from behind an ancient door that crushed creatures from among small tribes and forced them to all work together to stop them. Cards would be reprinted as tainted versions with brainwash effects that only worked when a Marillion was on the field. Creatures previously of one tribe would reveal themselves to have been Marillions all along, and characters who used to have the Royal trait, which meant they could only be used in a deck of their tribe, lost that as a symbol of them working together. The card lore may have been half the appeal, but the other half was the online component. Just like in Now or Never, the cards had codes that corresponded to the card you had. And by entering them online, you could play the card game with people all over the world. All over the country. All over the block. House. Okay, so the idea was cool, but we're talking about 2000's early internet. Seeing a photo that you didn't take on a screen was considered the height of fantasy. Look at how many different trading card games are connected to the internet in some way. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic. Some TCGs exist exclusively online, like Hearthstone and Legends of Runeterra.
I recently, thanks to Bumbles, I felt like going through some of the older games in my, like Bakugan for the DS and fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Nightmare Troubadour. I've been quite addicted to them as of late. It's gotten me feeling like playing Genius Invocation again, honestly.
It still hasn't circled back around to
But when I'm this, why do I still feel so much sadness? Oh, please wash away all my heartaches. Every raindrop falling on me, melting my tears. Nobody knows that I'm standing here to pay mine and alone.
You were not this hot. And we should transition from Canadian studio art down, from Get Morty to over-injured people, to the Korean studio Dog Nation. And the upgrade, Meatball. Again, having nostalgia for the old art style, but some people have nostalgia for one. That doesn't mean it wasn't. Oh, we've got a successful cartoon that got you game. I'm actually teaching them how to play. A successful game that outpaced Magic the Gathering at a point, and was the third best-selling TCG in America, and a team dedicated to expanding further. What was missing? Sure, despite all of this success, in 2010, Chaotic went cold. Suddenly, the latest expansion, Fire and Stone, was delayed and actually outright canceled. The show stopped its third season, only 12 episodes in, and after years of silence, the franchise ended completely. So what gives? Okay, this is not easy. Now, if you have some awareness about Chaotic, you might know the reason. Likely, you think you know the reason. See, the cancellation of Chaotic coincides with a lot of problems at 4Kids, the company. They were being audited by both Pokemon Company International and Konami, and were found to have withheld both companies, resulting in them temporarily losing the license to those properties. As a neat little aside, this resulted in a separate dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! Sexel by getting sued. Johnny Young Ma show, Power Rangers still in
Puddle to the sky.
as humor. Back in not even a lawsuit was taking
Hearing
place during
whispers
this.
of the
4Kids
wind.
and TC Digital
I
Media,
feel
a company that was now being run by Brian Cannon, and owners of the license to Chaotic. During the suit, the judge ruled that neither side would be able to make or sell any Chaotic products, including the cards or the show, until the trial was finished. That means that packs in stores had to be unshelved. 4Kids dragged its feet until they died from bankruptcy, and the rights would revert back to Brian Gannon and TC Digital Media. But it's too late. Chaotic wasn't on the airs anymore, and had lost its place in the cultural zeitgeist. It's a cut-and-dry lawsuit. 4Kids got greedy and wanted to cut TC Digital Media out and keep all the profits. Got it? Good. Because everything I just told you is 100% bullshit. Okay, so when you do any amount of research, or even just give a cursory glance to Chaotic and what happened to it, everybody says the same thing. They say that 4Kids got greedy and wanted full control of the Chaotic license and to cut TC Digital Media out of the equation, so they could hog all the profits to themselves.
But what was really going on was a bunch of privately handled lawsuits regarding the rights to the property of Chaotic between TC Digital and 4Kids Entertainment. They were tired of working with Brian, and if you learn anything about 4Kids, this shouldn't come as a surprise to you. The lawsuit lasted several years, and because the rights for the franchise was being disputed, neither party could actually do anything with it during that time. 4Kids Entertainment sued Apex Marketing for the full rights of Chaotic. The details of the original
Don't fucking
deal
know how to get to
of the
there.
lawsuit is kind of hard to find, but 4Kids apparently lost the lawsuit.
That sounds like a very 4Kids thing to do. It's common knowledge that 4Kids' board of directors was made up of cannibalistic, piss-guzzling dog kickers who needed a fresh supply of newborn baby hearts to keep turning rice balls into jelly donuts. But let's say you
Hey, it's pretty clear over there.
as little research as
The
you
glitter
can,
force.
and under the slightest scrutiny, the entire story falls apart. First off, let's start with the most basic question you can ask. What gets countless student papers failed every day? What are your sources? You see, this lawsuit doesn't have basis in fucking paper, let alone the real world. Any attempt to find evidence that this lawsuit ever happened only results in hearsay and conjecture from Chaotic fans on forums, Reddits, and YouTube comments. But not one ever has a source to cite. You know why? Because their source was a forum, Reddit post, or YouTube comment. No documentation mentions this lawsuit, and the only place it is mentioned is in Chaotic Spaces when discussing the game's downfall. But what about the Wikipedia article? It clearly states the lawsuit did them. You're right! It does! Without a source. The most they say is that a dedicated group of fans discovered the privately settled lawsuits, but not where they found them, who found them, certainly not how they found them, because trying to find the lawsuits for yourself, nothing! It's It's a coincidence, really. I was digging in my back garden for a bushel-egg new arugula plant, and what do I find buried? My court documents of 4Kids versus TC Digital Media. See, Mike, there's no evidence of a lawsuit of this nature ever taking place. And the same people who proposed the lawsuit idea have the same canned response. Oh, well, it was handled privately, so the information can't be made public. Oh, okay. Not how the law works, though. A case where neither side has broken a law and is instead a case of corporations suing each other would be a civil case. And civil cases are a matter of public record. On top of that, 4Kids was a publicly traded company, with shareholders that would have had to have been informed if this sort of thing happened. But no information as to this trial, let alone its existence, has ever been made public. In the same way the documents from the Battle of Helmstein have not been made public because it didn't happen. Well, that's because of the second reason. Non-disclosure agreements. Everyone involved had to sign NDAs to muzzle them from discussing the lawsuit. Oh, okay. Still not how the law works, though. NDAs are powerful, but they're not all powerful. Something NDAs don't cover is the disclosure that you're under one. That's just impossible. Voice actors say all the time, "Ooh, I'm so excited for this role I'm casted," but I can't say anything. I'm under an NDA. Saying an NDA is in place doesn't keep you from discussing that you're under one. So even if there was some sort of document in place, that wouldn't stop somebody like Brian Cannon from disclosing that a lawsuit had taken place. But he hasn't, because it didn't. Moreover, why put an NDA in place at all? This case isn't really one that needs to stay hush-hush, so the only explanation is that 4Kids would do it because 4Kids are memes, which, great, really glad that censoring Pokemon is still something we give a shit about. Then there's the story about the judge putting a hold on chaotic production or distribution while the lawsuit was going on, and are you listening to yourself? Let's look at the two outcomes of the lawsuit. 4Kids wins and owns 100% of the chaotic brand. 4Kids loses and owns 55% of the brand. No matter what, 4Kids would have a majority stake in the brand, so there would be no reason for the judge to do that. If it was a dispute of licensing, like 4Kids faced with Yu-Gi-Oh! That forced them to stop production on the dub and for Konami to switch to Bang Zoom, or if 4Kids was being sued to have Chaotic taken away from them by a third party, then a hold would be applied. It wouldn't be right to sell a product that's currently in legal limbo to two separate companies, but TC Digital Media is a subsidiary of 4Kids, so no matter what, 4Kids has the majority of the rights to
check this out.
zero.
Machina's real.
Okay, then what if there was no hold then? What if 4Kids was trying to stop production so
fucking hilarious.
control it more? Really? The brand they're currently going through an expensive lawsuit to acquire? The brand they had sunk at least $30 million into? The brand that refuses to turn a profit? That's the brand they want to make weaker? No matter how you slice it, no matter how you try and justify it, the story regarding a lawsuit against TC Digital Media just doesn't hold up to any amount of critical thinking. But then what did happen? Well, this might be a part as to why the lawsuit story is so much more widespread than the actual reason. The actual reasons are kind of boring and sad. The chaotic card game was a big success. Was. In the first 3 quarters of the game's production, the game had met expectations. Not exceeded them, not fallen short, it did exactly as good as they had expected. Was that last quarter, though? Of the other 3 quarters, this is the only one that matters. Quarter 4 is the most important one for a toy's production, because quarter 4 is Christmas. If your toy dies on during Christmas, that's a sign you're in deep, deep trouble. Despite having the home field advantage, quarter 4, for 4Kids, was a disaster, as Chaotic failed to meet its goals by a comical amount, going from $7.3 million in quarter 3 to $500,000 quarter 4. Hey, if they scrubbed out on question 13 of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, they could have made that an even million. That would have left 2, though. Last question was, how do you make Chaotic a success? In 2009, a similar thing happened. as profits dropped by over $12 million from the same time last year. You have to understand contextually as well. The 2008 and 9 financial crisis impacted 4Kids and the game significantly. Times were tough. Money was tight. Families had to make judgment calls as to what they needed and save every penny. If you're in that situation, or better yet, were in that situation, what's the first thing you cut? Well, how about a child's luxury item that requires you to put money into it to get new cards? That's the first place cuts are getting made. The cartoon as well was a mixed bag in terms of profit. The show itself never became the popular hit on the 4Kids programming block it needed to be in order to break even. It never beat its contemporaries like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Sonic, or Yu-Gi-Oh! In the ratings. And even when it started airing on the Cartoon Network, it never caught on. This was a 4Kids production as well. They had to invest millions more into it than they put into Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Since they weren't adapting somebody else's work. This was wholly original. That meant that lower ratings, plus increased production costs, plus the failure
he can heal.
In 2010, 4Kids had to shutter TC Digital Media as a cost-cutting measure to try to stay afloat, which they were only able to do for another few years. Chaotic fans have clung to this theory about a lawsuit for years, when in reality, the truth is just that 4Kids took a gamble and went bust. 4Kids doing it because 4Kids is evil is the answer. It's a popular opinion, so when you put it into an argument, everybody instantly agrees because, oh, well, they have to have done it. They did the One Piece stuff. What else are they capable of? Sort of blind hatred gets in the way of reporting on what actually happened. It's the easy way out to say that 4Kids did it because 4Kids are bad, than it is to do the research and to see what actually happened. I don't like being the guy who defends 4Kids when they make poo-poo in their diapers, but it's important to be able to separate yourself from the sorts of biases that people have towards 4Kids, and look at the circumstances behind things like Chaotic, behind things like the One Piece novel. It's maddening to see people still stuck in a 2007 mindset, where Brock calling rice balls jelly donuts is treated like the end of the world. The card game and everything surrounding it was still as high quality as it ever was. The reason for its disappearance wasn't some big conspiracy. It just wasn't popular. However, it was popular enough for a video game, Chaotic Shadow Warriors, published in 2009 by Activision and developed by Fun Labs. It's up. There are any similar big game animals watching this video, just steer clear of the Fun Labs game. This was a company that dealt in Cabela hunting games.
If people play him with cost, but
little, but it's obvious.
His personal damage is so freaking worthless, it doesn't really matter. I think I'm gonna go for Noblesse.
Support studio games like Trilogy, BU, or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. Why Game launched on all major platforms at the time.
Song of Days Pass also works, actually, kinda.
Most major outlets didn't give it the time of day because, well, like guys just games on cards, something like.
Now, they do count the skill damage. If I really gave a shit.
This is a game of two halves. Half a semi-open shooter with exploration element possible, and have a recreation of the card game with more gamified elements, to keep it from being an out-and-out simulator. As Tom, the main character from the show, you get thrust into the world of Paracommander. Explore the straight line forward to your heart's content. The world looks grand and open. First, but it only takes a few steps for you to realize that the entire experience is going to be railroaded down a single trail, with a few offshoots to find items to use during combat.
Let's see what I have.
Realize that you get to meet up with our newest creature, Anacat. And I've seen more upsetting things than these cutscenes. Not many. Anacat is as tall as a goddamn mountain, swollen to the point of popping, and animated like a kid who has to eat and can't stand still. Anacat tells us some of the Pedians have stolen battle gear and tasks us with looking for where they've gone. Tom promises to keep an eye out for any Pedian, and the other eye on the wall behind them. Before you get into a fight, you also get to see everything the overworld has to offer. It's part of some extra battle. Yyyy is making a big return for the original chaotic power ever, a fucking gun. You will notice the glowing spots all over the map. You will not interact with that. With the gun, you can blast through the insects that are blocking the path forward. The gun automatically aims no matter where the opponent is, and has a charge shot that kills all enemies in a set area instantly. For the first area of the game, fighting enemies has no incentive. Drop anything, and the only thing they do is attack your faces if you touch them. The gun and these insects, first at least, only act as a way for you with the right trigger to get comfortable with each other. Once you get past them, it's time to learn the combat, and, like I said, it's a modified version of the game's basic rule set. Instead of having your field of creatures, a land deck, attack deck, future hand, plays out way more like a typical battle. Every creature comes with a set of baked attacks you can pick from, and it can use battle gear as pre-game boost to boost its stats, and music to act as spells throughout the battle. Initiating battle has you selecting your team of creatures, in like battle spreads, equipping the battle gear that you want to increase one of your disciplines, say health, courage, strength, wisdom, and speed.
Yeah, defense will ultimately be better still, like with Karina.
System. Have some action points at the time, healing them by doing attack.
Or honestly, not really, though, because,
Cast it.
again, his personal defense won't increase the buffing.
Skill check. Stat. Damage.
And the crystal collapse stuff are still geo damage, so...
To see if you extra 8 points or deal extra damage. Once you finish, your opponent takes their turn, and you have 2 options. Firstly, block the attack by holding trigger and dash again. The other thing you can do is scan.
This is really disgusting, wow.
In the circle, you start to scan the opponent. And scan to 100%, and collect that creature's scan, and
Isn't that Rosarius?
on paper, this acts as an incredible mechanic. Any game that lets you collect these as allies is
Well,
always
she's set to support right now.
especially if it differs from the Pokemon collection. Shin Megami Tensei letting part of demons, for instance, is a system I enjoy a lot.
Thank you, Shin Megami Tensei. Not true.
One of the problems, though, is that it adheres a bit too strictly to a mechanic for Chaotic the TV show. When you scan a monster, you scan them as they are, from the moment that you scan them. Which is how the show explains each creature having randomized stats. If Odu Bathox is feeling a little gassy when he gets scanned, he's gonna have less courage, but it will give him such good wisdom. In here, though, it also means that the creature's health that you get will be their health when you scan them. So instead of a new creature you just scanned being a powerful addition to your army, it's a helpless corpse that can barely stand on its own. And that's not until you heal it off. No, the scan health becomes base health. It always reverts back to it at the end of a fight. So the obvious answer then is to only scan at the beginning of matches when creature health is at its highest, right? Well, that does make sense, and it is the best idea, but now you're on a death clock, since the opponent's not gonna stop attacking just because you're taking its photo. Hey, mind if I get your phone number? Now you can take kidney shots at me while I write it down, that's cool. So for the early game, you have no options but to ignore the mechanic for the sake of living, because you're not gonna last long if all you're doing is taking photos of the enemy kicking the crap out of you. After completing the tutorial, the game rewards you with one of the few times an Xbox game has ever hard crashed on me, and forces you to redo the entire fight. This is actually for the people in the back not paying attention. If you're on your phones, I blame you. Now, fights in this game are extremely odd, because there's a lot to them that the game doesn't really touch on. For starters, stats mean nothing. You'd think your disciplines would affect gameplay in some way. Like strength creatures doing better physical damage, wise creatures being better at music, speed creatures acting first, and courageous creatures having more health. No, instead, every stat is just for challenges or stat checks for your moves. A creature with 0 strength and a creature with 100 strength are going to deal the same damage with the basic move. And instantly, this entire portion of the card is pretty much worthless. Aside from how it affects the moves, these stats don't impact the character at all. So a creature scanned at the start of the game and a creature scanned at the end of the game are going to be just as viable as each other. And that feels really bad. You don't get a sense of progress or even a feeling that one tribe differs greatly from the other. Instead, you're pretty much just swapping between different skins for the same set of moves. A result of this is that Battle Gear has no real effect on gameplay. It equips some to buff your stats and help you beat skill checks you couldn't before, but once you equip one that works, that's all you're ever going to equip. You should never take it off. I had most of my team equipped with Ring of Marin because it boosts 3 stats at the same time, and as long as that was an option, why would I pick one that only boosted a single stat by less than what the ring did? Or use a battle gear I have to sacrifice to give my creature an elemental stat for a single turn. The elements function the same way as the disciplines as ways to boost attacks, but a lot of the creatures draw from elements they don't even have. So you either have to use a weaker version of the move, or sacrifice battle gear every time you battle just to get it to its fullest potential. And this isn't a case of sacrificing a useful item for a temporary big boost. All the battle gear does is be sacrificable. That's all it does. This all comes back to a question you might have had early on, though. Well, why would I use a creature who could only give himself a skill boost or an elemental boost temporarily, when I could just use one that has it always on by default? Great question. You can help me out a lot by also giving me the answer. Once you find attacks with good stats or a lot of elements, you never switch off of them, invalidating the monster collecting entirely by not giving you a reason to collect monsters. So, a few battles later, we've managed to
Yikes, what the
only useful
fuck?
elements, because pretty much all of my overworlders have the loyal trait, which means they don't approve of a mixed-race army, and will only team with other overworlders. Finally, racism as a gameplay element. We bash our way through the last of the Mepedians and find out they're not Mepedians at all. They're shadow creatures created by an overworld battle gear that's been stolen. We head off to the Mepedian desert to find Maxor so an adult can take over the situation. Some ugly bitch named Bodil crashes the game for a second time and tells me that if I want to stop the attacks of the Shadow Warriors, we need all 6 fragments of an ancient Mujic that are scattered all across Farum. He also gives me 3 Bodil scans. Why is one of them new? By this point, I managed to scan enough Mepedians that I could construct a team of only them. And when playing,
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna do a lot of damage.
except for the Danians, Overworlders, Underworlders,
Why are his base stats so fucking low?
He's broken up by some Mujic that can only be used by each race, like Overworlders getting more healing Mujic, and Underworlders getting more damaging Mujic. What do Mepedians get? An excuse to keep living. Mepedians are in this game by accident. You only run into 7 across the entire game out of the 39 creatures in it. They have 3 magic spells specific to them, but there's a battle gear that turns off the entire tribe's invisibility gimmick that lets them deal a little extra damage at the start of a fight. If you try and use Mepedians, you're gonna lose. Later on, you meet up with Bohar, an overworld scientist who gives us the ability to merge scans, which means you can use 3 scans of the same creature together to get an upgraded form. And if you get 3 upgrades, you can merge them again into their strongest form. Wow, that sounds like a nightmare. Now, if I had to compare Chaotic Shadow Warriors to anything,
Oh, this
I'd say it's
place.
a combination of Final Fantasy VIII and Paper Mario Sticker Star. For RPG fans, that's not a recipe for success, that's a recipe for a bomb.
My
The Final Fantasy VIII portion
heart
comes in
is
with the
bleeding
scans, just like Final Fantasy VIII's draw and
Maybe
junction
you'll
system.
be
As soon as you see a
for me,
monster,
maybe
you want it.
you'll
You want to fill out your
my
collection, see what your
heart.
ability is. And in the case of creatures like Naturin, you're not sure when you're ever going to get to see him again, or if you'll see him again. The game has a major fear of missing out, so you have to park yourself and scan any monsters that you find. But again, if you want them to be usable, you have to scan them at the start of the battle, and bring your team in when whatever's coming. But then the fusion system comes in, and we start to see what really makes it feel.
Damn it, that's not a skip button.
And that's that you have to sit there for 3 times as long to scan the same creature 3 times. If you don't, then you won't be able to fuse into a 3-star. If it's not a 3-star, guess what? You're going into garbage! So you sit there and have to scan the same guy 3 times in a row. Nothing changing, just trying to get the process over with as fast as you can. And praying they use a Mujik, since the animation is so long, it can count for half a scan on its own. If you want to pass the time without damaging the creature and ruining your scan, you also have the final option. Taunt.
I will jump on the outside and soft on the inside, or the other way around. You are apparently not aware of my exquisite technical skills.
It's sort of clear your sciences. While you're trapped in this hell of your own creation, you also get intimately familiar with all the voice lines. Now, 4Kids acting to me is the height of nostalgia. They had like 8 male voices and 4 female voices, so you started recognizing them really quickly. I didn't really mind it, though. I even started playing a little game where I tried guessing who was going to voice what character. Come on, give me a Ted Lewis! Damn it! It's an Eric Stewart. At the end of the day, this is the only franchise where you can say unironically that Sonic plays as Goku. I'm trying to consider.
How come Hina runs like a girl? It's so hard to do the stupid
Now,
dash
unlike the voices, if you jump
thingy with him.
there's a few voice lines tied to it. Either calling out the name, or just screaming, now! Problem is that pun phrase is not unique to each character. It's unique to the move. If any character uses Shrink Shock, they'll say that line. If any character uses Delirium, they'll say, here's something for your lack of inspiration. So sick of it already. How much longer till the sun explodes? I guess I can wait a little longer. So scanning is a tedious chore that eats up 3 times the time an already tedious chore ate up. But look on the bright side. The bugs finally have a purpose, since they drop the points you need for fusions. Now what about that sticker star? Whenever that is brought up, people usually start running, but you've been brave enough to stick around. Well, one of the most hated aspects of the game, besides its continued existence, was that attacks are consumable items that exist in finite amounts. You can't use basic attacks while being sure you'll be able to do them again. That similar system is in Shadow, except instead it's with the Mujik and Battle. Every time you use Mujik or expend a battle gear by sacrificing it, you lose it forever. It's gone. In case of some battle gear, you can find enough rings and then you're set for the game. With the Mujik, there's a set amount of Mujik across the whole game. If you use all your decrescendo spells, that's it. You'll never be able to use the spell again. You can't buy more since the game doesn't have an experience, loot, or even money system. There's no stores, no merchants, no way to get more spells aside from finding them in the overworld. That fear of missing out I mentioned? It's even worse in regard to the item selection. Everyone knows that feeling in RPG. You get that one really, really good but rare item and are afraid to use it. Because it's so good, you don't want to waste it when a bigger challenge might be coming up. Chaotic Shadow Warriors decided to make every single spell in the game work like that, since there are only so many healing and damaging spells to go around. You might use them all before you really need them. So you just stock up more and more, so frightened to ever heal or use a damage spell because what if I need it later? What if the police pull me over and ask to see my cannon of casualty? What then? No one else is finite too? Battles. That's right, there are so many encounters in this game, and because of that, there are no random things. Every fight you have is going to happen when you say it happens. Without an experience system, though, or any way to get stronger, there are less tests of your skill, more roadblocks that just keep getting put in your way over and over. Usually they'll have a new creature to scan, but that's a double-edged sword. Ah, cool, a new creature! Ah, crap, my next hour just got booked up. If it doesn't have a new creature, you just gotta get through the battle, and they tried making battles more interactive.
Sir, I guess this is the quest I'm doing now.
Much of a noticeable impact. Moves aren't significantly stronger by a single point. But you better do it, since if you don't, the enemy's guard will eat up almost the entire move. Battling gets old super fast, and doesn't vary itself at all between regions. Characters you battle with, just fight after fight, one after the other. You never vary up your strategy at all. For how much time they waste and for how minimal the stat increase is, I'd even say fusions aren't worth it in the long run, given they mostly just buff your disciplines.
I need to see...
Much. Except they also increase health, so you're gonna want to do it for when you start sending underworlders who are strapped to the gills with the shell.
what Goro's worth.
Not an experience or progression.
If I can beat this domain, which is technically has everything going in his favor in 40 seconds,
Tackle the first Mepedi with, and also take on the final
maybe I'll consider using him a little bit more.
satisfying. Dream with
Now that he's cross-dressing.
or with the first 6 Pokemon you catch. But not in their first form. They evolve, they get stronger, they improve and get new moves. In Chaotic Shadow Warriors, nothing like that happens. And guess what?
Wait, this is the wrong domain.
Characters have evolutions, so not that they couldn't integrate it into the game, they just didn't. The game throws you variety in the form of challenges in the overworld, like platforming and tile puzzles, but at the end of the day, it's not nearly enough to make up for how boring battles become after a few fights. And on top of that, they're also bad! Once you find a winning team comp that gives you heavy hitters, Fugic supporters, and Nazarin to draw fire at the start of every single without fail,
Well, there's good energy recharge, it seems.
easy. This happens around the midway point, and after you get interest,
50 seconds is not very impressive.
and Nazarin,
Then again, this domain
worry about scanning
kinda fucking sucks anyways.
Yes. You have the chance to scan Danians during the Danian chapter, and they're mechanically unique, but also mechanically bad.
How much ER does Goro give?
A card game, but that revolves around
2
having-
particles, that's not a lot.
That doesn't really translate to a game with only 5 spots to spare. Underworlders are about as good as Overworlders, but you can only scan worthwhile ones at the very end of the game. You won't have about 8 battles left. You can use them, but by force no tricks, it's just sadly, once you describe a single fight, you've described all of them. And it makes discussion really hard, since the majority of the game isn't especially interesting past the first hour. If you want a positive, though, the graphics for this game aren't half bad. Seeing as the team behind this made the Cabela games, it shouldn't be too big of a shocker to see that the game held its jungle environments, but the desert, the underground, and especially the lava lands of the underworld are a treat to see. Music as well is a pretty fine part of the game. It mostly uses stuff from the series, which means fans of the show are gonna get a kick out of it. And on that topic, I can see Chaotic Mega fans getting more out of this than anybody. Me, I'm more a fan of facts of boxes, and what some games have to do to stretch the definition of selling points. Inflict vicious ranged attacks. Now see, if this game didn't have ranged attacks, I wouldn't have bought it, but now that it does, get a customer out of me, over 40 unique playable characters. So Fall's advertising is legal. The game ends with Kaor, Satan, getting puzzled off screen by some captains, as the real villain, Hardlock Flute, makes it known that he stole the Overworlders' battle gear that makes innumerable shadow clones of every living creature on the planet. Why did the good guys have them?
Sure.
We chase him
I
down
guess.
and
It's pretty
endure
good.
more fights before we find him. Kick his balls, and get one of the most bizarrely paced cutscenes you've ever seen.
Fall and bloom and scattering repeatedly. Back again in the same old scenery. Just beyond the door that's always empty.
Next door.
Find time and time again, no matter how you keep your eyes on me, I still long to see the gentleness beyond comprehension. So
find out,
the
Adam.
changes that
Major Tom, Ghostbusters Unleashed work. The super scanner is functional.
Actually, it's sort of got broken.
I hope
Explanation. I have a great explanation. Sure you'll believe it.
now with the game completed and every scan unlocked, you now have the ability to play multiplayer. You and a friend can go one-on-one to battle it out with all your creatures, and
I
well,
want
I
to try
can't
fighting
tell
a
how much fun
boss.
it is to play
Since those are...
personally. I kind of get why you'd want to do this. Chaotic is a complicated game, and this game is anything but. So this game as a resource to play something close to chaotic without a 16-minute tutorial is something I understand. It ultimately comes down to something fans of chaotic might enjoy, but for most
not, I
people,
guess.
it's a hard pass.
I guess I'll have to level up Goro to at least 80.
Luckily, this wouldn't be one of the final notes for the franchise to go out on. As in 2009, Mark Gannon had announced that after a 5-year effort to get the rights back, he had acquired the rights to Chaotic, and was looking for ways to reintroduce the series, like reprints of classic cards, printings of never-released cards like the Fire and Stone expansion, new cards altogether, tournament play, video games, apps, a revival of the TV show, a movie? Okay, don't do that. But I feel like now is the time for Chaotic to finally reap what it's sown. Online card games have become huge business since Chaotic went away. And games like Hearthstone have proved that you can use the medium specifically to create features that would never be possible in paper play. I think that even disregarding a physical TCG, a purely digital Chaotic game with the framing device that it has now is a genius idea. If you do want to keep the physical component, AR functionality could make the game really appealing to spectators and make them want to get into it. News on work that's been done on the reboot is sparse, but that's largely down to how investors want to manage things. You can't announce a bunch of plans, then look for investors. They're the ones who make the plans. As recently as the last couple of months, Riot's been showing off Chaotic's place at trade events, so I feel
yeah,
sooner or later, there's
This
a
a bit
chance we'll see
cycle
something
really
big.
hates my Noel.
Like confirmation that the lawsuit never happened.
Forgot how to sparkle.
You didn't wanna hurt your heart. Bring me down, falling down. Oh, I remember. Still here breathing, screaming, drowning my sorrows.
How can I hold my overflowing tears from the sky?
Falling down, falling down. Oh, a deep darkness falling down.
Rain outlines your fate. Rain cutter, know my sword.
Falling down. Oh, I remember. Can't you see I'm still here breathing, screaming, drowning my sorrows.
As a good night should. Someone needs assistance.
Oh gosh darn it.
My feelings for you like strawberry, so sweet and easy to be smashed. Can I give myself over to you?
Unfortunately, there isn't a single defense bow I'm pretty sure that exists.
More than just being kind. You may be hurt, but just go for it. Gonna
There's like a built-in game tool now, right? Yeah.
It's because of me, you know. Will you be so cute, I know. It's because of me, you know. Will you be so cute, I know.
Never mind, I forgot this shit sucks.
Will you be so happy, yes? It's because of me, you know. Not enough, yeah, you find me yet. I'm so thirsty, absolutely parched. Gonna turn it and I'll pop in your mouth. Where I wanna be like a fresh waterfall. I cannot wait, not up anymore. Don't hide your face, just look at me. Give you sweet kiss, never had before. You're gonna get up so fantasy. Lighting up so bright, it's glowing and glowing inside me, so shiny. You are making me blush, regret and say let's play. Reach out your hand, I hold it so tight. I had the same kind of dream one day. Have I been here, or is this deja vu? Were you so
Unfortunately, it's a little hard for me to gauge how useful Goro is right now, because the overworld is not a good litmus test. Hello there, lovebirds. I didn't mean to use my skill. In terms of skill rotation, based on what I read on just the skill description, you kind of want to treat his skill similarly to Fischl, except you rotate between them so much faster because of the lower cooldown. It has infinite uptime actually, technically. The burst is a convenience tool more than anything, where you don't have to worry about being in circle impact. So maybe energy recharge isn't all that important for him.
Took a little time to reflect and breathe away from the strain of pressure and of
His burst seems nearly irrelevant.
It's not easy for an outlaw like me to prove I am more than
Genuinely, it seems like it really is.
to guide the path ahead.
Kinda the best choice to just go for elemental mastery.
Nothing to hide, in tears you cry. But maybe there is something
Thing I dance to, so I could see you. In gold happiness, each time we sing Poco a Poco. Can't look back, can't deny. If power multiplier, I'm about to show the world that I deserve to be here. Come and let me lead the way.
Maybe I am not as strong as you think, but I know my way around the risky roads. To protect this tribe, I am willing to abandon it all. Sometimes I can be rough around the sides, not my bread
And butter, but I try.
trust my instinct that I will keep you safe.
Truly an extra slice of joy.
We may not make it as one, but we won't.
I wonder if Goro's buffs are like enough offset that Farina isn't necessary. At least for the overworld, maybe. If we can just go for genuine, pure mono Geo.
Must not deny your power deep inside. You may know that I might not always be by your side, but still we know
Ningguang won't benefit much. Ningguang will just be there mostly, for the most part, just. And Navia is also not gonna work because similar to Ningguang, she's an attack scaler.
break free from fear inside of your heart. Victory is possible if we focus on
There really isn't anyone else I can think of to slot in.
fight for happiness.
That'll provide much. Hydro's like the best overworld element.
This power multiplies. We are hand in hand to fight for what we all believe in. Together we will triumph until the end. Come and let me lead.
I can go for Yunjin. I don't know, I'll go look up some guides or something maybe
The well manners.
some other time.
If you'd like to learn the proper etiquette, I'd be happy to teach you.
This growing feeling inside.
Let my name echo.
Breathe it and left
I must leave no stone unturned. Time to clean up.
as the horns endlessly grow and grow.
Yeah, even with C6, Goro still kinda sucks.
Ardent like promised land.
He isn't like Faruzan. Honestly, that's still pretty bad design in my opinion.
Share a smile, even
You could argue it's even worse. At least Faruzan rewards you for investment, quote unquote investment.
find what I've been looking for. Discovering the path to
Goro's strength relies entirely on your horizontal investment to Geo.
is gentle and
Well, Faruzan is technically the same.
Delicate as silk. Steady as stone.
And he doesn't provide enough Geo particles, like holy shit. It's a problem if Noelle still can't get her burst up consistently even though there's 3 Geo party members.
its petals frozen patiently, waiting for a dream. And before it disappears out of sight, as ice white as sugar crystallize, like a sharp edged blade that pierces the soul, from harmless and round to a spear that's full of might. How can I spark the laughter believe in the end it's all that remains, a haunting past that I want to disappear.
Hey. Still a lot in the desert.
So wide infinitely, hiding stars are out of sight.
With the Noel team specifically, though, going full EM still isn't all that helpful.
Trembling through the night, this growing feeling
Since Noel already has
inside me,
such an absurdly
deeply
good shield.
attached to hard and
Thank
dry,
you for
as
complete.
the horns endlessly grow and grow, when liars are pardoned like honest living men.
And the body's
Because
numb.
only you always believed in my heart. You gave me light, healing, and joy as the sun gets the flowers. Wanna heal the hearts of everyone who's been hurt. Keep the seeds that I left behind as the flowers die. Even if you are not here, I can feel you. We are still connected forever. Feel you. Keep the flowers blooming in my heart, sow the seeds again, so that they will never die. Many beautiful
Probably
flowers
Navia.
see you again. Don't wanna say goodbye. I'm sure that we will meet again.
Her energy.
And again, I was my lenses overflow. See you again. I'll give you one last hug. I can see you in my dreams, but I can't.
Avonius is objectively his best weapon, since that's the only way he'll actually provide a modicum of energy support for the team. Oh, I'm out of awkward flower stuff.
Somewhere out there, I'll keep you in my heart. We'll plant all the seeds you left behind. Many beautiful flowers see you again. Don't wanna say goodbye. This is the part that breaks my heart. Oh, so I was my lenses overflow. See you again. I'll send you one last song. Now and forever I will never be afraid. 'Cause now the sun is shining on the darkest days. I wish that the seeds could fly up with the wind, carry them up to you again, again. I was my lenses
If I go for defense, all that'll realistically do is I need to level up his skill. I don't think anyone cares or knows how to play Goro. Because... No, never mind. I thought it said the burst was the one we should level up first. Theoretically, this goes all the way up to like 400 something. Which I gotta say is pretty good.
I will be the one to help you break through the dark. I'll fight with all of the fire in me. My
got to
promise to you I'll keep. By the moonlight, I will keep fighting for you to the world's end. I don't care from Earth to the moon. I will find you and face all the friends and the foes. You must trust in me. I'll show you. You see, amidst the darkness, I'll hold to the thought that could be of the power that brings your soul to me. I am stronger now than I'll ever be. For the friendship is
Sure, I can trust catching mains. I forgot they have a whole website. The 4-star set. Exile. Which, yeah, that does work, huh? I kinda already got rid of all of them, though.
Brings me close to you. Your name's in my heart from the very start. Do you miss me too? I'll come for you through thick
First Exile.
no matter the sin. We will make it through. Doesn't matter how far, we'll heal all the scars from the
Fortunately, Exile is easier to farm than Instructor, since that's something I can get passively in any domain.
I will keep fighting for you till the world's end. I don't care from Earth to the moon. I will find you and face all the friends and the foes. You must trust in me. I'll show you. You'll see amidst the darkness. I'll hold you the thought that could be of the power.
Never mind, it's still from bosses.
I am stronger now than I'll ever be.
Or not?
For the friendship I see, I give my all and more.
It's specific bosses. That's fun.
As my power is growing, my soul ever knowing your heart. Feel the world that tore apart both our hearts. No matter how hard, we will make it through this war. By the moonlight, I will keep fighting for you till the world's end. I don't care from Earth to the moon. You can trust in me, Priscilla. You see, I'll always be there to protect you. In the spilled sorrow, my tears they overflow. The story fades away.
Yeah, since Goro's stats don't matter too much, theoretically it won't be too hard to farm for Exile.
The reason why I must go on. Every footprint, every step.
Again, I don't think his burst is all that important. They're saying you need 220 ER. But that's only so you can burst every rotation, which I really don't think is necessary. Like, all that'll really give you is comfort, which, you know, comfort is nice. I'd say go for crit off-piece over ER off-piece. Obviously, you'd still want good ER, so you can at least burst every other rotation. For the most part, this provides nothing. I guess there's A1.
On the way, the colors slowly fade away. A ray of light still shines upon my hand. The moon whispers me secrets yet unsaid. The sweet lullabies echo in my head. Broken sky above, I just need some comfort. Seeking hope for tomorrow, but the wind is cold as the night gives way to light.
I guess his burst is what gives the crit damage buff as well.
The clouds drift away till they are out of sight. Dreams come and go. Alone and defeated, longing for a place to rest, and so I journey still. I'm on my way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get on your feet.
And that I take nothing to fear.
Whispers of the wind, you'll be okay. Rays of light lead me through the darkness. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get on your feet. With each step and breath, I feel the beat. With my head held high, I'll make my stand. Keep moving forward, never looking back. One, two, three, four. Get on your feet. I will rise again and again, even if the world may seem.
Yeah, dang, Exile's really good.
We'll make our way to find the peak. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get on your feet.
I can't strong box Exile. Fuck me.
Turn on the lights, walk through the night. Someday I'll reach the place that I've longed to find.
Before I go, I just realized Right, Wuwa time. I'm building Yinlin.
In traveling across the seas, I've journeyed new worlds near and far. This voyage made me realize that people aspire for the same things in life. I wonder as I'm wandering, when this storm will pass us by. And living in these endless nights, while waiting to see the sunrise. I've seen the breathtaking sights, I witnessed terrible fights. Each day a different highlight, but my mind is still stuck on you, the heart I left behind. Many more days to come that I live my days away from you, but please do know my heart is longing for you. Day by day, answer me, hear my call. In my dreams I dance with you. Cannot wait until I finally find my way back to you. Wherever this path may lead, I pray that the stars will guide me. In this road full of uncertainty, faith and hope is what I'm clinging to. Please bestow ample strength upon me. Must not fall, must not fall. Trust that miracles are coming true. Must stand up and go on to yearn a lifetime with you. Wait for me, I'll be home. I will share my victory. Cannot wait until I finally find my way back. Wait for me, I'll be home. I will conquer fear and wipe my tears. I'll live without tomorrow, yet my courage shines through. Answer me, hear my call. Must believe that dreams come true. Cannot wait until I finally find my way back to you. I hear a voice somewhere, far in the distance. Might it be you out there? As the horizon under the rising moon, across the evening sky, calling out my name. Hey, now if you ever caught in the middle of a maze, wandering endlessly, it's enough to trust the stars above to guide you all the way through. Don't forget, despite the threat, you gotta know you're not alone. The pain might not easily go right away, but I do know I believe in your strength. I wish I was near you just to help, to walk beside you in your darkest of times. Somber soul, don't you ever give up on your dreams. Oh, life can sometimes just
Let me ascend Yunlin first.
So I asked the wind to dry your falling tears away, calm you down, keep you warm here with me.
I'm
I asked the
missing
stars
stars.
above the skies to be our shining soldiers while we try to find our way, hoping that the scars in your heart fade entirely as I hold you in my arms so deep. I'm asking for the moon, give me one more night as she shines her guiding light. Give me time, oh, hope we'll never be apart. No, I hear a voice somewhere, far in the distance, might it be you out there, past the horizon, under the rising moon.
I missed.
Across the evening sky, calling out my name. Hey, now that we can finally hold each other's hands.
Oh damn it, her charge attack is a combo.
As we depart the destination no one has ever explored.
Everything gives Umbra.
The world's not fair. We may be afraid, but we'll hold on. I will keep on walking with you, even if we're walking on the path of utter loneliness. Cold-hearted is this about to break? A fragile moment of delight, like candy, leave a smile for me as a precious memory in time. I remember this dearly while we holding hands. Oh no, I don't want to let go just yet.
She's just a DPS.
So I wish upon the birds to sing a melody.
I feel like Has
A song full of me.
is more likely to get power crap than Spectro, honestly. Although I suppose that depends on what WoWA devs have in store. If other characters get released that have the same intro skill or can even do it easier, the slowdown effect, and in more favorable states, the show begins. I missed. How?
I ask the stars above the skies to be your shining soldiers, leading you towards the light. Made a bargain with the wilderness to set you free, away from all the uncertainty. I'm asking for the moon to please smile for you as she guides you through the night. Give me time, oh,
Hot damn though, that's a lot of damage.
I'm safe on your ride somewhere, far in the distance, might it be you out there?
Oh damn, it's a 5-star. Another one. Where the hell is it? Beyond the never-ending horizon.
There is a candy castle in a candy land, lollies and chocolate
No, wait, seriously, where is it? No impossible, no one cares. There you are. Oh boy, it's crit damage.
Somewhere far away in the southern land, the white snow starts piling up in the summer field, lightly covering the sunflowers melt away. Heard it's so beautiful, no way impossible, no one cares about it, but people in the world enjoy daydreaming. Don't worry, let it go with the flow every day and follow the gentle heart in liar's life.
The meta's still evolving, so right now this is technically a really good team. Just by virtue of it being having characters that are strong and the support healer. Need a band. Hello. Come on.
No hesitation.
It'll never disappear. Right up through the atmosphere. Like a treasure shining brightly glimmering.
Wonderful sound.
Magic covering.
Terribly lovely.
My gardens come to place. Blossom out and seek a new day. Have the courage to go step by step. Take it slow, forge ahead. Watch the wings of the birds in the sky. They travel far and they travel so high. Just like the winds that rise, they soar by. Fly away like falling starlight.
Wait, holy shit, I forgot to claim it on my first fight. I just got the echo. I was too excited with the echo, I forgot to claim the reward.
To be free, follow a dream that never will fade. Let's open the door, embrace the new day. Say hello, let's travel to tomorrow. The sky never ends up above, so infinite. I can see it clearly. We were meant to wander free. Every single tear I cry, I know it's true compassion's price. I'm on my way to be who I wanna be. Though I'm not perfect, I can feel it. Believe and you'll achieve. But this ain't a smooth fairy tale. Gave my heart up, but at times I'm lost and I'm ready to break. Why keep trying? I always get stuck. They tell me, why don't you just give it up? But I won't give in, no, I'll rise up. So never give up through rain or lightning. I'm never alone, I won't stop fighting. I am strong and I am not afraid. Bravely open the map, a new adventure. Open my heart, I won't surrender. Say hello, step into a brand new world. I know that I'm ready to go. The
At least Genshin doesn't give you notifications for the battle pass anymore. You already fulfilled the weekly limit. This kinda sucks.
Cast away the life you've known, the traditions you were told, no hesitation. The courage that you've gained, the winds of change will guide you boldly once again. Fly away like falling starlight. Release
Wow, there isn't a lot of variety in these, huh?
no need to hesitate. To be free, follow a dream that never will fade. Let's open the door, embrace the new day. Say hello.
Oh well.
Let's travel to tomorrow. The sky never ends up above, so infinite. I can see it clearly. We were meant to wander free. Even if I knew everything there was, everything that made you who you are,
Never mind, she isn't tall.
I don't believe I could keep my heart quiet, although I'll keep on trying. I can't have what I want, wish my fears were easily removed, like the dust that clings to my old boots. I am haunted by all that I've wrought. I stumble and can't find a way back up. I feel another wave breaking. It drags back up the distant past. Wishes forgotten so long
She kinda reminds me of Haruka, honestly. From Senran Kagura.
Let me stay in the night. I can't keep going. I dread the moment floating rays of light far away, shelter me from the rain. Your pain is no thinking. It comes with kindness, distorted by its truth. Believing your presence in darkness. You won't cast me down.
Ah, fuck.
One with the sound.
Even though there's danger up ahead, I see the moon and stars that light my way. Your beating hearts like a guardian shadow. It's always been
Found here, apparently.
In my dreams, your arms holding me tight, like this forever, at least until my tears fly away.
Mind if I join in? Yeah, 'cause I kinda already meshed Tauchi. Perhaps I'll find what I want above. So numb on desires, but that guidance I don't know. Empty bottles, figure out what's wrong. I just got what's wrong. I wasted my night. I just need 100 more. Oh, what a simple favor. It's what I thought. Day to day until the moment that you laid your price on me. I never believed in miracles, not until the day that I looked at you. Behind me and we'd hold me tight, a brand new meaning to my life now.
There must be something that I can do to make you live a life that's filled with love and joy.
Hush now, darling, don't you cry.
Sorry that I can't stay by your side. It
Breaks my heart to leave you behind, but my life I have to sacrifice. I'll just buy it.
Please don't think that I would want to leave you. You'll be in my heart. I wish to the stars. Hope you understand. I'll trade my life for you.
Well, there we go. Na 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 na. You with all of my limbs, community. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
I can't keep going.
Ever will do to come and go, memories that flow. But you and me so suddenly, connect over time. Your sweet lies, and as if I could see through. It must be making you feel awkward. The timeline of our advice. That's my cool. Everything drifts away.
Maybe clumsy words find meaning in your heart. I hope they do. What lies beyond the words you give to me? A world unfolding, waiting for us to see.
Stay with me forever. Sound of needs.
Here, just you and me. I close my eyes and let the breeze take me away.
Before our hearts beats intertwine and dance.
I just can't let the sun go down and fade. A hidden melody we both unlock. Every beat sings with the ticking clock. Time stood still, there was a silent hush, not even a whisper. Our two hues blend softly,
Melting the sky. You and I.
in the sunlight, awkward silence lingers between the two of us. The sunlight gone, the night has come. Beyond the dark, we are casting our regrets. Our gazes cross and miss. Out of reach, words are lost. Thought I knew your heart, but now a wall between us keeps us apart. Wanna be closer just a bit. My fingertips brush yours softly, but you don't see me. Gazing as your hair sways in the ocean breeze. I wish we could escape from this moment and be at ease. In this tranquil night, the moon is too bright. The waves unmask the silence between us. With you in mind, my heart tightens and aches. I try to forget, but it's hard to fake. Every breath I take feels like a mistake, and it's a pain I'll carry whatever it takes. My heart tightens and aches. Every breath I take feels like a mistake. Before our heartbeats intertwine and dance, I just can't let the sun.
Is there really not a 4-star I can use on her?
Melody we both unlock.
Not really.
Every beat sings with the ticking clock.
What are you looking at?
Your boobs.
You'll pay it back tenfold.
Shadow descends.
See the water ripples without the wind, feeling the stillness. See the darkness tearing you pieces. The color of the dawn that comes.
Now you're getting
Over there, you listen carefully. Close your eyes and you know now you can reach through.
Zach, the stage is yours.
Their desire so
Strange.
trying on a canvas in the night to heal the heartaches layered far away forever. You will not forget. Struggle to the dream that we deserve. Scatter in the dark, the one below. Painted in the hue of brilliance. Deep in the water of blue now.
Oh, I'm stuck with this.
We're just until it's now.
Oh.
Showing their despair. Day by day. Na-na, na-na-na. You will not forget. Something about it does exist. And the view of billions.
Dark of light, seeking the light, lost inside, too many thoughts behind. The scars of that day has left an imprint on my way. Sometimes I can barely breathe, but I survive. Please call my name. I'll rise out of the darkness. Find my only strength and set free.
Tear them to pieces. Watch and learn.
It's always
Leave it to me. Luminous energy. One with the sound.
inside, it won't ignite. Try to imply everything will be fine. I face the darkest night, and it is already far behind.
Dang.
It's alright, you'll be my side. I've been given
Why is she so mad? She should smile more. Like Marina over here.
Take me away to where rays of light shining. I'll be stronger, you raise me up.
I meant to do the tutorial skills for everyone else.
keep looking for perfect world, no longer haunted by the past. Turn around and round and around with the same memory. Pick up the pieces that lead for my story. You see.
Ouch. Huh? I can't jump, so...
Photosynthesis. Listen up.
Huh?
A diamond floating in the moonlit night, so beautiful. Carpets twinkling in the sky, where you can never reach it, so far away. Is it shining all around me? Fate's waiting on me. Go against the flow and live my life. It has begun in the deep darkness, the shadow of the moon. I hope the end is in. The brightness pray only for you. Until the shining stars, a girl is into you. You're saying you're into
I'm supposed to hold twice. There you go.
Listen up.
Whatever is everything. Sleep in the gentle air, the crack of dawn. Listen the sound of lovely leaves, and the words slowly awaken. So let them sway.
Bask in the sunlight.
Don't you worry, you're still learning. Don't take it all on. It
Cannot be like this forever. For hundreds of years, she never would wake up. Sleeping Beauty, she waiting for her prince. Running and it's crazy to...
Cause I need you right now. My feelings for you grow, and they just overflow.
Oh, there was a button for that. What was I checking here? Oh, right. SMM's Liberation, that's her burst. Forte circuit. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na na na. Na 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 na. Maybe I should get Verena to 60 as well. Her follow-up damage could be reasonably useful. This team is problematic because both Tairitsu and Yinlin require a lot of field time since they are main DPS. There aren't a lot of sub DPSs out anyway yet, though. Almost everyone needs a little bit of field time to be worthwhile, to get the most out of their toolkit. Oh my god, I hate this song. Ah, come on, I was in the middle of climbing. I might have wasted some of my money by leveling up normal attacks. I wonder how much of a terrible idea this is. Although it's not like echoes. Echo grinding doesn't need stamina. May as well fully invest in this team, as well as the other, as well as 3 other characters for end game.
Shadow descends. Tears me to pieces.
It's just the two of us. Since we lost the fights. When I feel your warmth, my heart fills and trembles. Find day
By day.
I'm dreaming, so don't wake me every day. Come what may, hold my hand till my dream comes true. I've always given you my all, wondering where these things could go. Your smile is weighing in my head. Hope you'll remember all our days. Spread my arms to
Wonderful sound.
the sky, flying through the clouds. I will stay with you. Close your eyes.
Yeah, wow, like 15 seconds or so.
Sunlight in my dream forever, ever after. Deep inside, dreaming high to the end of the moonlight. Good
Wonderful sound. Watch your Zap string. It's hard to hit.
day by day, I'm dreaming, so don't wake me every day. I'm what may, hold my hand till my dream. Find day in my dream forever, ever after. Deep inside, dreaming high to the end of the moonlight. Good night.
People like these MF faster. I like how they're shortened to MF.
No mercy.
Past and try to bury her.
I become a warrior. Somewhere up in the world, it's waiting for you. If you come to sing the love, find it again. You must face all the fears. There's no regrets.
There's battles up ahead, they're waiting for you. You will be knocked down, but keep on charging through. Even if my love turns into endless pain and dries up all the tears I haven't shed, I will be that warrior. How do I find someone to share in the life I've always dreamt alone? Can I forgive myself at last? There's danger up ahead, it's waiting for you, and you're truly terrified. But you'll find it inside, that strong voice that says go, it's always there. You'll be battered and bruised again and again. You will be knocked down, but keep on charging through. Even if the fight goes on for endless years and wrecks my body into shattered bones, I will be that warrior. The little promises you broke that were scattered wide and far, even as their temple crushed into bits, pick them up and gently whispering your truth. You can make them all again until they glow like nighttime stars, lighting your way. I wish upon the stars just for some strength so that I can carry on. Somewhere out in the world, it's waiting for you. It's the one true thing you've lost. But to find it again, you will face all your fears. Keep following those stars. There's battles up ahead, they're waiting for you. You will be knocked down, but keep on charging through. Even as my love turns into endless pain and the battle wounds turn into deep stars, I know that I won't have regrets rushing into the eye of the
Apparently, we just need to
storm.
wait.
I become that warrior.
No rush. The impatient ones will fall right into our lap.
Woke up today with a memory, something I picture so vividly, dancing in the in paradise.
I'll pay it back tenfold.
Then realized it was just a dream, something impossible. So it seems. How in the world could a guy like you fall for someone like me? My baby doesn't
Luminous
me
energy.
unavoidably, or you're undeniably just mesmerizing. Boy, my heart skips a beat for you. I should stop myself from yearning this charming fantasy. That a sweet love of you and me is a possibility. Stop believing this impossible dream is coming true. Like seeing Orion shining above the skies anew. How could I push these feelings away when I get to see you every day? Working together as we would share the same goals in this journey. Would it be too much to ask for a country girl like me? Have an incidental chance to win you over now. Secretly, I'm wishing for you. Should I stop myself from yearning this charming fantasy? Somehow I'm feeling that you and me can become reality. Now that we've become close, I should not close my doors again and again. 'Cause who knows, I might get the impossible possibility. Have I find the signs of finally enchanting you? When you look at me, do you see me the way I see you? Or am I just stuck in another illusion? I'm blinded by delusion on my own. Must believe that I have given a little spark of joy and hope that it will bring us together forever through and through. But somehow it's not what I imagined it to
Tearing you
be.
pieces.
I'm accepting the heartbreak, knowing the possibilities.
Pay it back.
I will stop myself from yearning this charming fantasy to find my happiness in this world full of great uncertainty. Shadows surround the sun as it's eclipsed by the full moon. Now I might see the Orion shining above the skies anew.
Sure, I played through the entire album.
As I grow, even my breaths feel lighter.
stage is yours. Sure. Be gone. Good. There's no time to waste. One is the sound.
Guess I'll bring the music back on.
Shadow, follow! One is the sound. One is the sound.
Timing.
Ow, what the fuck? What did I do to him?
Check. Shadow descends. One with the sounds.
Tear them to pieces. Zap's strength. Pay it back tenfold. But you won't cast me down. Time to wrap it up. Be gone.
Life is in everything.
Watch and learn. Back off.
Don't blink.
Now you'll behave. Zap strength. It's our curtain call. No mercy. My field of expertise.
Who the heck is this guy?
Cleave it.
And I forgot you're supposed to press it again. Skill. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo. 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 Oh, I guess the low-level versions are pretty hard to come by. Doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Then, oh, they meant this store.
Oh fuck. Oh, that's a lot. Where's the monthly? Bulk crappery. Also, apparently I brought the wrong thing. The hell?
Don't blink! One with the sound. Cherish every game. Bloom! Roll for me! Tear them to pieces.
That's enough.